There will be more, as you know, we just shared this morning. This is the feature that we shared with you this morning on the confiscated vehicles. There will be more angles to this, and we will certainly bring the latest to you on JoyNews. But let's move on, and on this, gory accident, 34 persons were killed Tuesday dawn in an accident at Dompoase Junction near the Komenda Junction on the Elmina-Komenda highway. 29, including a 1-year-old boy, died instantly after a head-on collision between two buses on the stretch, while 5 died later at the hospital. 54 more persons are on admission at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital receiving treatment. Richard Kushanyako has been on the beat for us, and here's his report.
Some relatives break down uncontrollably upon finding out that their sisters, brothers, children are among the 34 persons who got killed Tuesday dawn. It's a day they might never ever forget in their lives. Hajia sprawls on the ground here at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. She narrates she and her sister both live at Takrady, and her sister, who was also killed in the accident, had 4 children.
Accident scene na fire service for police for what's where you body sitting in a.
She says her sister bade her goodbye to transact business in Accra and will return same day. 5:30 p.m. Monday was the last time she was going to hear the sweet voice of her sister. The sister called her. She was in the Kaswa traffic heading back to Takrady. In the morning, the children came to her saying their mom did not return. That was awkwardly strange.
There lies my sister. Oh, Hadija.
Her phone was not going through. She subsequently heard on radio there had been an accident. She followed up to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, checked through those who were alive at the accident and emergency center at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, could not find her sister, and the only place she could find her sister was at the morgue of the same hospital. According to her, she's been dealt a heavy blow. Elmina has been brandishing her phone that has the picture of her sister and pacing up and down the mortuary of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. She needs her sister back. Another heartbreaking story that was told us by the hospital officials was that of a 6-year-old girl who gained consciousness at the hospital and was looking around for parents. She might have been traveling with the parents in the same bus, they remarked. The accident occurred around 12:15 a.m. on Tuesday. This is one of the survivors. He gives us succinct account of what he saw.
I was on board a vehicle from Takrady to Accra. When we got to this sharp curve, the oncoming vehicle did overtaking. And then our driver tried swerving him, but rather he drove into our direction and then hit him. So that's what happened.
How many people were in your bus?
54, to be precise.
And where are they now? Do you know where they?
Most of them have been taken to the hospital.
But were there people you saw dead in the vehicle that you were traveling on?
Both vehicles. I was part of those who did start. I started with the rescue, and I called National Fire Service and then the police service came and met me trying to save lives before they even came in.
What would you blame this accident?
Street lights is one, and the other side is, driving. You don't overtake in a curve, knowing willfully well that you are approaching a curve. You are not supposed to overtake. Myself, I'm a driver.
The Elmina District Police Commander Superintendent Samuel Intiana, who has been at the scene of the accident since dawn, gives an account of what he believes happened and the operations carried out thereafter.
It's a road accident involving 2 passenger buses.
What really happened?
And the letter we gathered was they had a head-on collision at this very spot around 12:15 a.m. today.
Did they give you details of how it happened, who was doing what and all of that?
We gathered one was overtaken, the red one. The one lying just behind was overtaken. And unfortunately, this one, the white one, also emerged or appeared from Takoradi's direction. And they couldn't complete overtaking, and they had a head-on collision.
So how many people, can we confirm are dead?
So far, we rescued 29 dead, 13 females and 16 males, together with one child of about 1 year.
So these are people we can confirm dead?
Yes, this one I can confirm dead. We rescued them trapped in the vehicle dead.
The National Road Safety Commission struggled to put the level of their disappointment into words. Acting Regional Director of the Commission, could not simply understand why the new year could record such numbers of deaths and injuries.
Yes, we woke up not to a very pleasant news in the central region, and as per the information we are gathering from the police at post, the driver coming from Cape Coast direction towards Takoradi was overtaking, and I think it went bad, so the one coming from the western regional side could not control, and they met head-on on the incoming lane of the other vehicle, causing the crash. And the information so far is we have about 29 confirmed dead. The rest have been transported to the Cape Coast Hospital in Taberton. It's not too good a news. We can only hope for the best for those injured, and the numbers are actually not encouraging at all.
How does it feel being the head of the Road Safety Commission? We are starting 2020, and this is what we start with.
Feels like a nightmare. I'm yet to wake up from the figures. It's not good. It's a huge responsibility. We are not going to relent. We are still going to educate the drivers on best road use possible. We are not going to relent, like I said. We are hoping this is the worst and it will never happen like this. Even if there's a crash, there shouldn't be any injuries, not to talk of 29 dead on the spot. We deserve better as a region, we deserve better as a country, and we are only hoping for the best use.
This very spot is an accident-prone area. This is not the first time this thing is happening. I think, there was a break for some time, and now this thing has happened. What do you make of it?
For now, we cannot attribute it to any causative factors, but considering the time of the crash, we can relate it to a bit of bad weather or poor visibility, because as you can see, we don't have any street lighting on the stretch. So for now, we can attribute it to visibility, but of course, investigations are still ongoing. We'll try to find a best solution to this.
Feels like a nightmare indeed. Richard Kojonyako joins us via Skype. We want to check the morning after or the day after. What's new? What more can he report? Richard Kojonyako, you were emotionally strong, particularly yesterday, visiting the accident scenes, following up at the hospital as well, talking to families. It's a heartbreaking incident. It got all of us talking yesterday, the whole nation. Horrified, really, learning later on in the morning that from 29 we're recording 34. What's the news this morning after yesterday?
Well, I'm at the hospital, and those who got injured are waking up to a brand new day. Their relatives are still coming to the hospital to identify whether they could find their relatives. Here at the mortuary, I can also even find people that have come to identify the dead bodies. We also told you the story about a 6-year-old who was looking for the parent, and the conclusion was that she might have been traveling with the parent. So the hospital officials are still connecting the dots to find out where exactly the parent could be. So they have announced that anyone who had a relative travel on that stretch yesterday or 3 days ago should kindly come to the hospital and help them identify those who are part of the people that were involved in the accident.
Particular issue, what's the state of the 6-year-old?
Well, she's come. The hospital employed the services of a psychologist, and then the social welfare people also took charge. So the 6-year-old, I'm told by hospital officials, is okay, and those who are on admission currently are also responding to treatment. They tell us that they are in a relatively stable condition.
There was a 1-year-old who unfortunately also died. It wasn't clear if the child was traveling with the parents. What do we know about that particular situation? Hello, Richard? Hello, Richard, if you can hear me. Okay, I'm afraid we've lost Richard Kwejunyako. We'll try and raise him back on so we can get some quick updates on this 1-year-old who we're also told died on the spot in this accident. It wasn't clear if the child was traveling with parents on the bus. But the situation as we have it. Well, Richard Kwejunyako joins us again. Richard, I was asking about the 1-year-old who died. It wasn't clear, I think, as of yesterday, if the child was traveling with parents, because I think the issue was they had not identified who exactly was traveling with the child.
Yes, exactly. So the 1-year-old, we have not been told that their relations have come to identify who she was traveling with, and so we are still waiting. People at the moment, I am at the hospital mortuary, and people are coming in, so the wailing and then the tears have started flowing again. At the hospital, at the ward, actually, I told you that the medical officials say that the people are in a relatively stable condition, and they are confident that all of them might pull through. There wouldn't be further, deaths that would be announced by the hospital. But some of them have indeed been treated and discharged. If you looked at the two buses, one was got destroyed beyond repairs, but there was one that got only the frontage destroyed. So it means that those who were at the back seat or in the middle seat did not really get injured seriously, and so such people have been treated and discharged by the hospital.
All right, Richard, what are authorities, if they've said anything at all about this particular spots? There was the talk about no street lights, which is very common, by the way. But have they made promises to either fix street lights or to do something about this particular stretch where people say is a death trap?
We've not had any, we've not heard from the officials here, the regional minister and the other people, but the people that came to the scene, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and then the National Road Safety Commission, they said that, well, they have to look at the re-engineering of the roads, that's one, and then two, the lights that are supposed to be on that stretch. But most importantly, they are also advising drivers, because this, they believe, was caused by human error. The overtaking that was being done in a very sharp curve. If you have traveled along that stretch, you would know, or you would see that there is a sharp curve that when drivers are negotiating, sometimes they speed, and as a result, a lot of accidents occur on the particular stretch. It is one curve that after that curve, you go to the Komenda junction. So that is what people have said about it. Apart from that, what I've heard people say is the dualization of our highway. So, for instance, from Accra to Cape Coast and then to Takoradi, that road, the people are calling that they should be made dual, so that if accidents occur on that particular stretch, the impact would be minimized. Not that accident wouldn't occur, but the impact that will lead to 34 people or more people perishing in a single accident could be reduced.
And I can imagine, Cape Coast, Elmina, there's what people are talking about. This is early in 2020, and we're talking accident, recording huge numbers of deaths as well. What are ordinary Cape Coasters, the people from Elmina, what do they make of what has happened?
Well, they are shocked. There is no settlement where the accident occurred. It occurred at a junction, and that particular junction has produced a lot of accidents. It was, in recent times that it ceased, but in times past, there are a lot of accidents that were happening there. So they are really blaming drivers for speeding on our roads, for not observing road traffic regulations, because there is a longer stretch that an overtaking could be done. Especially, they say that in the night,
when you're even overtaking, you see the light from the oncoming car, and so you could be cautious a bit. So they are blaming the drivers, and they feel that there should be more sensitization and education for these drivers that especially drive vehicles that have a lot of passengers in them. In this case, the oncoming car from Takoradi has 54 occupants in that particular bus, and so they feel that they could be extremely cautious when they are driving on the road.
Richard Kojonyako, you did a fantastic job and still following up on this for us. We thank you for your work. Thank you for joining us with the latest on this. That's my colleague, Richard Kojonyako. He's our Central Region correspondent. He's brought us every detail of this accident.